One thing that this series has helped me realise is just how big Trans Am used to be, and that it used to race on quite a few different street circuits, with that series being the headline event. So I decided that it was about time I did an episode on this category. What a better way to begin than with a place that is 850 feet above sea level, has a population of nearly 215,000, and is the place where apparently Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off of a live bat. Sorry for any vegetarians watching this, which include myself. I don't know why I'm building this place up, considering you know from the title of this video what the location is, but it's Des Moines in the state of Iowa. The Des Moines Street Circuit held Trans Am and various other categories from 1989 to 1994. The first race included some really recognisable names, including Scott Sharp, Tommy Kendall, and popular NASCAR driver Bill Elliott, who was making his first ever start in the Trans Am series. You might also recognise one other name on this grid if you've seen my Street Track series before, particularly the episode from Helsinki. It's Robert Lapalainen, the guy who set up the event in the Finnish capital. The Des Moines track, meanwhile, was 1.8 miles in length with 12 corners that had a decent amount of variety. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Similarity is the word I was looking for. I mean, if that circuit isn't a symphony of right-angle corners, then I don't know what is. However, that doesn't mean that an interesting circuit can't be made from it. So, let's take a look at it in slightly greater detail. Firstly, you can tell what sections of Des Moines streets have been used to make this circuit, because beyond a barrier that helps divide the pit lane and a photography/corner worker area, there are some distinctive lines which, even with late 80s picture quality, we can easily tell is a car park. The start-finish straight has quite a lot of elevation change for a street circuit. It's only really when you reach the start-finish line that you get to see what faces you at turn 1, by which point you have to brake pretty hard. There's a bit of a bottleneck at the start, but considering what cars were racing, then it's perhaps not a surprise. After the first lap though, it's not too bad. The track then opens up, instantly narrows again, and then just as quickly opens up again. The reason why is so that the pit lane exit can merge onto the live racetrack. It does look a bit awkward, although in my view, it is serviceable. Whilst we're on the subject of the pit lane, let's go over the pit lane entry. It is quite clunky, a bit too tight perhaps. Again though, it's serviceable in my view. It's a bit difficult to talk about the corners on this track because the thing is that they're so similar. Maybe the profile of one corner is slightly different to another, maybe one corner is a bit more open than another, maybe one corner is a bit bumpier than the other. However, the issue is that they're all basically the same. Slight differences here and there, but not massive at all. There's not really a corner on this track that is terrible, but by the same token, there isn't really a corner that's awe-inspiring either. That isn't a shock though when you have nearly identical corners making up the 12 turns around this track. It's not a bad thing in the sense that it's a street circuit that's quite hard to find any glaring faults in. However, I don't think it's a circuit that outside of the local area or people who are connected with the series that race there, that people would remember all that well. It did seem like a well-run event though. The track was apparently coming up in some sections, but on the whole, pretty good. What I will say is that from someone quite new to this era of Trans Am racing, i.e. me, it's quite cool to see these big brutes of a car lumber around from corner to corner the way they do. It's a bit like watching an elephant attempt gymnastics. There is though one cool thing about this circuit. A big deal is made, and understandably so, of IndyCars racing over a bridge in the Nashville circuit. Well, this track had exactly the same feature. It's not as obvious as the Nashville circuit, however, these two rises that you see the cars go over is the small bridges that run over the Des Moines River. Although that being said, this isn't the only street track along with Nashville which has sections that run over rivers. More on that later in this series. Now, of course, the main aim of a racetrack is to create a circuit where you can have good racing. With this track, you could have that. You could make big lunges and make them work, because the track in some areas did have good width about it to make those attempted passes. Des Moines was on the Trans Am calendar from 1989 to 1992, as well as 1994. However, the track wouldn't be used by Trans Am in 1993 as a result of floods in the area. However, the track was still used for racing that year. The track layout was slightly different. It was made a bit shorter from turn 3 to the corner preceding the first bridge, which had now become turn 6. However, the event made a loss in 1993, and with the 1994 event not making up enough for the loss of that year, the event would not be continued into 1995. This track's aim was to try and change the perception of Des Moines to the rest of the US. Did it do that? Well, from my perspective, it's hard to tell. What I can say though was that this event in the local area was seemingly well received, with there being a good chance that had the floods of 1993 not occurred, then this event could have gone beyond 1994. That, however, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. What are your opinions on this track? Say in the comment section down below, along with any other street tracks that you'd like to see me cover in this series. With all that being said though, until the next video, enjoy the rest of your day.